Hello, this is Craig from Ultra Real Assets. This video is going to cover some of the basic features of the VrFlight system and also double as a quick start guide. To begin with, make sure you have the asset installed in Unity and it will show up in a VrFlight directory in your project. An easy way to start is to go into the demo directory and under scenes, load the empty island scene. This is just the island from the big demo, but it doesn't have anything in it other than just the island model. And also it has the prefab for the VrFlight rig. You can just hit play, but I want to show you how easy it is to bring in the flight system and make it work. So I deleted that prefab there, and now we just have the island with the no flight system in it. Okay, so in order to bring in a flight system and make it work, I modeled this after UFPS. I really like the way that they had it so you could just bring in the system into your game and it just immediately works without any real hassle. So I kind of modeled this product after that workflow. So under the VrFlight system directory, you'll find prefabs. You go under here and just drag the VrFlight prefab out into the scene somewhere. And then move it up in the air because the flight takes place in the air, not on the ground. Press play and put on your VR headset. I can immediately start flying, and you fly by tilting your head. You can turn sharp turns by tilting your head. You can point in any direction, and you'll fly that way as well. You'll notice that you have extremely precise flight controls that allow you to do things like fly between trees with a very high precision. I also have a input for the gamepad controller. You can change around these controls if you want, but you can optionally speed up with the trigger controls and slow down. You'll notice also that there's blinders that appear on the side of the screen. These are to help with motion sickness. A lot of people have problems with seeing things move quickly by their face. So the blinders kind of help with that. They're optional. You can turn them on and off depending on your comfort. You can also crash too. Here we go. So if I crash, it will automatically respawn again. And you'll notice the wind particles going by. Those react to the velocity as well. They'll go faster if you go faster, and they will slow down if you slow down. And those are the basic features of just the very most basic features of the flight system. So let's dig in and show you what you can kind of do with this thing. And that'll give you some ideas of what kind of games you could make with this. All right, we're back in the scene again. So in here, under these controls, you have things like speed. Like if I want to, I can make the speed very fast, which will make the flight travel very quickly. And now we're moving really fast. If you're using a controller, you can also do things like, let's say I wanted to make an underwater simulation, something where I'm swimming. You're not limited to going just forward. In fact, you could take and say, I want us to be able to go negative 30 meters per second, maximum 40 meters per second. And this will allow, and actually let's do this. Let's make our base speed. This is kind of our beginning speed. Actually, base speed is the value that is applied when you're not applying acceleration or deceleration. So right now I'm at a dead stop. But if I use the triggers, I can accelerate forward, and if I use my decelerate trigger, since I have a min value that's negative, I can actually go backwards. So I thought this would be really great for something like, say, an underwater simulation where you're swimming around in an environment and you use this control to swim around. So that's one interesting thing that I haven't explored yet in one of my demos, but I might try that in the future. You also have gravity factor, which will essentially make it so that, let's see if I make it something really high, if we can see the difference here. Make this number like 60. We'll just make these much higher. There we go. So this makes it, this gravity factor will make you accelerate upwards much slowly. Like if I climb, I'm climbing slow, but if I point down, I'll go really fast. So it kind of it exaggerates. Now, like I said, if you wanted to try something like an underwater one, you could invert this value, use a negative value, where now if we look down, we'll go really slow. But if I look up, I'll move really quickly. The camera scale thing is really cool. Camera scale, a neat trick is if you parent the camera to a transform and then scale the transform, you can get this really unusual toy-like effect. So I put this in here. So if you took this number and set it to something like 50, the entire world is going to appear like a little tiny miniature. It's a little hard to see in this video, but when you're in it, it literally looks like you're in a model train layout. I've also got a series of Unity events as well as C# events available to script for anybody who wants to do any coding. There's also velocity sounds systems which respond to rigid bodies so that you'll notice the sound changes as you speed up and slow down. There's crash event scripts, there's death event scripts, as well as input scripts which you can change based on what your input, what you want to have your input. Like say you're not happy using Unity input and you want to use something off the asset store like C input or Rewire. You can take and change the basic flight input script and essentially use your own. Let me see if I can find that here. I think it's hiding. There it is right there. You can replace this script right down here on the bottom with your own version that uses a different, and as long as you comply to the interface within the script, it'll work easily and you don't have to go and rewrite a bunch of stuff. Okay, so that's just the basic overview of the VrFlight system. In future tutorials, I'm going to cover kind of how the demos were made. There are 3 demos, and I'd like to show how to set up a game manager and you know, how to create some of those demos. They're quite fun. I have a lot of fun making them, and I keep making more, so I'll probably keep pumping more stuff into the demo. So I hope you like it, and please give me feedback, and I will definitely try to respond as fast as possible. If you have any problems at all, please email me and let me know. I try to fix this stuff and stay on top of it. So don't hesitate to contact me, and I will help you out as much as I can. All right, thanks.